So another assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Just minutes ago, the would-be assassin has been apprehended. The cops do have him, thank God, and President Trump is safe. But this is the second assassination attempt on this man. And I'm telling you, it's the fault of the left-wing media and the Democrat Party. The rhetoric they use against this man, the hatred they stir up against this man is unnatural. I've been a political nerd my whole life. I've never seen such an onslaught of hate. They're just driven by so much hate. And the people that are in their bubble, that only watch the mainstream media and listen to the Democrats, they think this man has no humanity. They don't even think this man is human. They treat him like a dog. They have made him out to be what the Nazis thought of the Jews, what Hamas thinks of the Jews today, that they don't deserve to live. And if they keep this rhetoric, these assassination attempts are going to keep coming. We just had a debate, and the president mentions that he was shot in the head. And the moderators don't even say, yeah, we're sorry, how you feel. Don't even ask him, not one question about them. They're like, no, but answer the question. And then the debate moderators debate him instead of letting the two people debate. And they lie, they fact check them with lies. Because I fact checked the fact checkers and they were lying. I proved they lied. They were saying Trump was lying and Trump was telling the truth. And yet, Kamala Harris lied. I counted at least 21 times. Other people tell me they counted like 28, 29 times. And they never fact-checked her. And Kamala Harris's sorority sister, the Lindsay, whatever her name is, admitted they didn't plan on fact-checking. They said, no, we didn't need to fact-check Kamala, but we made it a point to fact-check Trump. So they went in there biased and made him look like he's a threat to democracy, when the real threat to democracy is an unelected person that could be president. Kamala got 0 votes. The Democrat machine decided she's going to be president, even though 14 million Democrats voted for Joe Biden in this recent primary just a few months ago. They said no. They forced him out. And they're going to put this woman. They are the threat to democracy. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz says they want to censor people that they believe are misinforming the public. So if you say something they disagree with, they'll label you as misinformation and censor you. Homosexuality is a sin, will be considered hate speech and misinformation. All Christians will be censored who say that. So they are the threat to democracy. And I know a lot of people get mad with law enforcement and the Secret Service, but Donald Trump Jr. praised the Secret Service on the first shooting. And when people were getting on that chick saying she was a DEI hire, he said that chick, the woman that protected Trump at that first shooting, said she's the best shot he's ever seen. She could outshoot any guy on the stage, and he's a shooter, and she can outshoot him. So he gave praises to the Secret Service. And for the first time in history, every police union in the country endorsed one side. Usually the big cities will endorse the Democrat, the Royal will endorse the Republican. But when Trump runs, every police union endorses Trump because he knows they have their back, and he knows the Democrats like Kamala Harris want to defund the police. Kamala Harris set up a bail fund for people who shot cops and who rioted, and she encourages them to keep rioting. But now all of a sudden she's conservative and, tough prosecutor, because she's getting, election in 2 months. But the cops love Trump. The cops didn't let him down. The people on top, the appointed bureaucrats, wouldn't give the Secret Service the amount of manpower they needed the first time he was attempted to be assassinated. And I don't know if they're still giving it, but the ones that are there are doing a heck of a job. And Donald Trump and his sons praise these Secret Service guys. So don't bash them. It's the top brass who, I don't think they're actively shooting them, but they're like, oh, well, we'll stir up this hatred. There'll be enough nutcases out there, on psychotropic drugs prescribed by their doctors that will hear that he's a threat to democracy, and they'll do it. This is what's going on. But law enforcement did a great job. And I think there was a civilian who actually took a picture of the shooter, the assassin, who ran away, jumped in the car and took a picture of his license plate. And I think the local police down here in Florida are the ones that caught him. So that's good news. And the guy had a GoPro, so he was going to film it. So I don't think, like a lot of people thinking, CIA or FBI, I don't think the CIA would have filmed it. I think it was some nutbag that watches NBC News and hears every day that he's a threat to society, he's a threat to democracy. And they thought they were going to be a hero and they were going to film it. That's what I think. But God protected Trump again. He protected him again. For some reason, the forces of evil want this man dead. And whether you like his policies or not, whether you like his personalities or not, you got to admit, this man has withstood so much that a lesser man would have broke a long time ago. Him and his family have withstood hundreds of lawsuits, and most of them get thrown out because they're ridiculous. But if they get the right Democrat in charge, like in New York, then they get them, on petty stuff, They're trying to put him in jail. They will put him in jail for 400 years if he doesn't win. This guy has tremendous pressure. He's the most unsafe American. You have so many people that hate him. And he could just stop and go live a life of a billionaire and not have to worry about nothing. So we need to get this man elected. We need to fight for a man who fights for us. And again, I'm not saying he's a perfect man. I'm not stupid. But blue-collar wages went up for the first time in my lifetime under Trump. Roe v. Wade was overturned under Trump. Taxpayer-funded abortions ended under Trump. Transgender surgery in the military ended under Trump. Censorship ended. If this man doesn't get in, censorship is going to come upon us just like freaking China. Abortions are going to be rampant throughout the world, and we're going to be paying for it. And we could be in World War III. Russia invaded Ukraine under Obama, and Russia invaded Ukraine under Biden. Russia was too scared to invade Ukraine under Trump. And yet the media will spin it and say, if Trump's elected, he'll just let Russia in because he's against this war. No, he's against war in general. This war should have never happened. He'll end the war. He'll get a peace treaty. They actually signed a peace treaty a month after the war started, and Biden told Zelensky to rip it up. We want to remove Putin, who has more nuclear weapons than us. These people are crazy. This is why Tulsi Gabbard, lifetime Democrat and military combat veteran from Iraq, Tulsi Gabbard, full-throated endorsed Donald Trump. Democrat. RFK Jr., lifelong Democrat, a Kennedy, fully endorsed Trump because he knows we are dealing with lunatics on the left that are going to get us into World War III. They're going to censor everyone they disagree with, and they're going to unleash hell on earth. So the forces of evil want Donald Trump dead because he's the man I believe God is going to use to stop this onslaught of evil. And by the grace of God, America will have a second chance to repent and to follow God. So pray for President Trump. He's just a man. I'm sure his wife is scared. His kids are nervous, But he's one of those guys that gets pissed. They don't get scared. So I'm sure he's coming out fighting, So pray for President Trump and his family. Pray for their protection. And, I was telling my friend we need to pray for Bobby Kennedy too because, Trump is going to use him to expose a lot of the corruption in the pharmaceutical and the CDC and FDA. And he made a good point. He said, well, if they could kill Trump, they will need to kill Kennedy because he'll have no power because no one else is going to let him speak. They'll censor him and call him a nutbag. So he's probably right. So pray for Trump that he gets elected and that pray for his safety. God bless and stay Catholic.